Are you wondering how many medical schools you should apply to? While there is no universally ideal number, in this video, we'll cover how many schools you should aim to apply to, how to create a short list of med schools, and other individual factors to consider to maximize your chances of acceptance by focusing your energy on what will work best for you. Hi, my name is Chris, and I'm an admissions associate here at BeMo. Before we get started, be sure to subscribe on whatever social media channel you're watching this from now so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos. If you would like us to help you apply to medical school, go to BeMoMedApplication.com to schedule your free initial consultation. As a quick tip, check out the timestamps in the description of this video to navigate to specific sections of the video that you're interested in. Here's what we're going to cover. How many medical schools should you apply to? Medical school admissions requirements. Additional considerations. Correct questions to ask. Creating a short list of medical schools. By the way, we're giving away $50 Amazon gift cards every week to the best comments and questions, so comment below for a chance to win. There's this one thing that will dramatically assist with med school applications. I'll explain at the end of the video, so keep watching to find out. Now let's get started. For all the time and money spent on applying to any and every medical school you could be working much more strategically, maximizing your chances at schools where your application will be most competitive. So, asking the question, how many medical schools should I apply to, isn't the best attitude for approaching the task ahead, and it's not the best question to ask at this stage of your education. It's certainly not the best for you and your peace of mind, and it's not the best way to put forward your best effort for scoring that key place in a medical program. There's no magic number of applications that will work for everyone. If it were that easy to game the system, then a lot more people would have figured it out by now. Rather, you need to do some research about each school and program to apply to the schools that make the most sense for you. Yes, this means some work, but certainly not more work than creating applications for every medical school under the sun. Here are our tips for creating a long list of medical schools to apply to, and how to whittle that down to an ideal short list of medical schools to apply to. Medical school admission requirements. You'll need to look at each school's admissions requirements and then compare these to your own qualifications. The Medical School Admission Requirements, MSAR, is a database that will help you browse, search, sort, and compare information about many U.S. medical schools and participating medical schools in Canada. Note that not all schools publish their information to MSAR, so you may need to review this information on the individual school websites. In reviewing admission statistics and considering which schools to apply to, you'll need to look at and compare things like the following. MCAT score. Your MCAT score versus the school's median accepted MCAT, as well as the spread of accepted MCAT scores. If the lowest cumulative total MCAT score accepted last year was 509 and yours is 507, then it's unlikely your application will be given serious consideration unless your application stands out in other truly remarkable ways. There are, however, medical schools that don't require MCAT. This may be an opportunity worth considering. You may also want to consider rewriting the MCAT, so review our blog to find out the MCAT test dates and release dates. GPA. Your GPA, science and cumulative, versus the school's median accepted GPA. Again, if the lowest GPA accepted last year was 3.82 and yours is 3.7, it's not likely that you'll have a strong chance of acceptance. Required coursework. Your coursework versus the medical school prerequisites. If you do not have and do not have time to acquire the necessary courses and prereqs, then you may not meet even the most basic qualifications for an offer of admission. It would not make sense to apply to such schools. Your residency status in-state, in-province versus out-of-state, out-of-province status. Most schools show strong preference and have much lower medical school tuition for students applying from within their state or province. Unless you have a very high chance of acceptance in an out-of-state or an out-of-province school, it makes sense to focus your efforts where your chances are highest. Though it's an unpleasant reality, remember, at this stage, they're looking for reasons to exclude applicants as much as, if not more so, than they are for reasons to include applicants. One look at medical school acceptance rates makes this much clearer. Thousands of students apply for a relatively small number of spots, and the application reviewers shortlist needs to be established quickly. So, if there's a reason to set an application aside, they usually will. It is worth noting that using the medical school admissions requirements MSAR database does require payment of a small fee, but this fee is generally much less than the cost of applying to a very large number of schools. So using this tool will ultimately save you time, money, and headaches in the long run. Again, some schools make this data available on their websites as well, so you can see if any of your long list schools provide this information. In any case, in creating your short list of schools, use these tools to work smarter, not harder. You've got a lot of hard work in front of you if you're applying to medical school, so concentrate your efforts where they'll be most effective. Additional considerations. After reviewing this information, you should be able to put together a long list of possible schools. However, you're not done yet. A tool like a medical school rank list and the related data are important, but there are other considerations besides standardized test scores, numerical data like GPA, geographic status, and basic prerequisites. Using your long list of schools where you meet such fundamental requirements, you'll now want to look at each school's mission statement, including any priority student categories. For example, if the school's mission statement specifically mandates prioritizing candidates from rural areas, and you yourself are not from a rural area or have no experience in rural areas, it may not make sense for you to prioritize such a school in your applications. Ask yourself the common question: why do you want to be a doctor? Do the schools you're considering have the same priorities as you in that regard? You'll likewise need to consider your experiences and extracurriculars as compared to the experiences and extracurriculars of past successful students too. For example, what percentage of accepted students had research experience? Does your own research experience stack up? What percentage had volunteer experience, and what kinds of volunteer experience did they have? Have you done similar work? What percentage had shadowing experience, and so on? Note that not all schools differentiate these in the same ways, but most will have some data about such activities for you to review. On top of that, there are yet other considerations to bear in mind as you begin turning your long list into a short list. As you start narrowing your search, you'll want to look at the actual curriculum, the school's prioritized teaching and learning styles, advisory and mentorship opportunities, proximity or connection to local hospitals, and other components of the educational experience at each school to ensure they align with your own needs. Not all medical schools operate identically, and education isn't a one-size-fits-all endeavor. By this stage of your education, you'll likely know your needs and strengths better than others, and it doesn't make sense to pursue a school that cannot support you and your educational needs effectively. Correct question to ask. All of this ultimately means that the answer to the question, how many medical schools should I apply to, is going to be different for everyone. This isn't a question with a simple universalizable answer. Quite the opposite. The point is to apply only to those schools where you have a realistic chance of gaining acceptance. Instead of asking, how many medical schools should I apply to, ask, how many medical schools could I realistically gain admission to? Yes, the Ivy Leagues are at the top of everyone's list, and if you're a contender for those schools, then that's great. If your chances of admission at such schools aren't high, however, that doesn't speak poorly of you, your educational experiences to date, or the medical education ahead of you. There are so many fabulous schools with an effective program, and a solid, accredited program is better than no program at all, right? Using the techniques and considerations above, it's best to select 8 to 10 schools and focus your application efforts there. Any more than 8 to 10 schools, and the complexity, time commitment, and monetary commitment all become way more consuming than they need to be. Remember, while there may be a central application for many schools, sending your applications, transcripts, and standardized test scores to multiple schools is costly. Even if not in terms of time, then certainly in terms of money. As well, let's say you go totally wild and apply to 30 schools, and in the supposed and highly unlikely best case scenario, you are asked to submit additional materials like medical school secondary essays to 20 of them. Well, now you need to complete secondary materials for 20 schools, likely while also working on your current schoolwork and other commitments on top of that. That is a monumental and unnecessary amount of work. If your chances of acceptance aren't high, as these secondary materials are likely going to be different for each school. This isn't a quick copy and paste job. It can take hours to complete even one school's secondary requirements, let alone double-digit numbers. All of this adds up, and the more secondary elements you're required to complete, the less likely you are to excel in any of them, simply because you'll be pulled in far too many directions all at once. Creating a short list of medical schools. A manageable short list is one that contains a maximum of 8 to 10 schools. If you don't come up with 8 to 10, you shouldn't add more to the list just for the sake of having more. The only schools that should be on your list are those you have a realistic chance of getting into, rather than spreading yourself too thin unnecessarily. Learning to manage your expectations, realistically evaluate your chances, and apply yourself in the areas that will yield maximum return is all part of the growth, personalization, and maturation process that you must go through as you work towards your goal of getting into medical school. Wherever you apply, there will be limited spaces, and there's little sense in applying for already limited spots when your chances of admission are slim. There's no sugarcoating it. Applying to medical school is a lot of work, regardless of how you do it. At this stage, with all the pressing commitments you already have, you need to ensure that you are working purposefully, intelligently, and pragmatically. Casting the widest possible net is none of these, and usually amounts to more work in the long run. Start by looking within your own region, exploring programs in your own state or province, and reviewing the data and qualities outlined above, using MSAR and/or the school's admission website. Find those where you meet, or better, exceed the medians in terms of MCAT scores, GPA, etc. Ensure you have all the prerequisite courses they require, and see if your profile matches those of accepted students. Review the structure of the program, the types of advising available, the instructor-to-student ratio, emphasis on lecture versus seminar versus clinical versus research work, and ensure all of these align with your own needs and wants. This is one of the most important decisions you've made in your life to this point, so make sure you get it right and focus the most effort where you'll see the best returns. Check out our blog to learn more about how many medical schools you should apply to. I've included a link in the description of this video so you can find the blog easily. If you would like us to help you apply to medical schools, visit BeMoMedApplication.com to schedule your free initial consultation. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, so please subscribe, like, and leave a comment. If you have any questions about medical school applications that I didn't cover in this video, let me know in the comments section and I will get back to you as soon as possible. And don't forget that we're giving away $50 Amazon gift cards every week to the best comments and questions, so comment below for a chance to win. Thanks so much for watching this video, and I'll see you next time.